Good afternoon, everybody. It's David Perlmutter from Quantum Listing, and I want to welcome you to today's webinar, Leveraging Data and Off-Market Data to Find New Listings, with our guest, Ben Pollack of Reonomy. Uh, so before I jump into the business at hand, I want to thank our sponsor, the News Funnel. The News Funnel is a fantastic resource for everybody in the commercial real estate industry. They have an aggregated news feed of commercial real estate news sources from all over. Do check it out at thenewsfunnel.com. If you have your own website and want a commercial real estate news feed, you can contact them and they will be happy to provide said news feed. And it's a great way to bring people back to your website again and again. So let's get started. So let me tell you a little bit about Ben and Reonomy. Ben has several years experience working in growth strategy and marketing for software companies. And currently he's the head of demand at Reonomy. And if you want to know what Reonomy is, Reonomy leverages big data, partnerships, and machine learning to connect the fragmented, disparate world of commercial real estate. By providing unparalleled access to property intelligence, Reonomy products empower brokers to discover new opportunities and find new listings. To date, Reonomy has raised $128 million in venture funding from Bain Capital, Sapphire Ventures, and more. And with that, I would like to throw it over to our guest, Ben.
Great. Thanks, David. Appreciate the introduction. I'm really excited to be here and want to also give a huge shout out and thank you to Quantum Listing. Appreciate you guys having us on and excited to partner with you here. I'm going to steal the screen share. I think it should now be a Reonomy screen. Is that good? Is that right?
You are good.
All
and
right.
Ben, thank you so much. And I'm just thanks everyone for being here. And if you could mute yourself if you have background noise, that would be great so that we can have Ben's full presentation. So thank everybody.
Cool. Thanks, Julia. And again, thanks, David. Really excited to be here today. I hope everyone's healthy. I hope everyone's staying healthy out there. It's a crazy time. Just wash your hands and find new listings. That's the two themes of the month, I guess. So a quick background and maybe a high-level agenda as well. As David mentioned, I've been with Reonomy for a couple years working on their growth strategy and go-to-market, marketing, up that alley. Reonomy has been around for about 6 years, almost 7 now. Our co-founder, Rich, is an entrepreneur by trade. He's not a commercial real estate professional by trade. So he looked at the field in 2012 and was like, wow, there is a lot of money flowing through this asset class, but there's a lot of data and it's super unorganized and it's really hard to get access. And this is a problem, especially for such a large industry. So seeing that, how ripe for disruption it was, he started using the great public data in New York City as put forth by Bloomberg to piece together a really beautiful data set, which we were able to do. We then moved to Los Angeles. Doing this in a MSA by MSA market way was a bit slow. So 2.5, almost 3 years ago, we released our national product. And I'm going to go into that in a second. Since releasing that, we've really blown up, and both our funding, our customers, and our amount of traction has all increased. We had 70,000 folks sign up for a trial of Reonomy last year alone. We work with 9 out of the 10 in the United States. That includes CBRE, Cushman & Wakefield, Avison Young, the list goes on. And I'm really excited today to first talk about what property intelligence is, how Reonomy creates their secret sauce, and what really is the underlying aspect behind that. 2, how to actually leverage that data for off-market deal making and bringing properties to list. And then 3rd is the Q&A. David, I don't know if you have anything to add here, but I assume I should just roll forward with the Reonomy background. Is that right?
He's probably muted himself, but that sounds good.
Cool. Okay, so Reonomy provides data on 52.4 million commercial assets in the United States. So let that number sink in for a second. That is 10 times our biggest competitor in terms of the amount of coverage. So we cover a large breadth of properties, 99% of the commercial real estate assets in the United States. The way in which we do this is by first bringing together several different public sources, so tax assessors, land records, Secretary of State, and then we combine those with private data sources that you see in front of you and a myriad of other.
I don't know how this thing works.
I think someone might not be muted, but I will continue. And what it comes to is, through a machine learning algorithm, we're able to actually create a unique identifier for each property and then just layer on different pieces of data on top of that. So the sales history, the debt history, the owner, the owner contact information, the tax history, it's all surfaced and attached to one place. This has historically been a challenge, and here's why. Here is how addresses and unique identifiers for properties have been listed in the past. Look at the different disparate data points that are all speaking to the same property. This is actually one of our old offices in New York. So through our data engine, we're able to actually say that 10 East 21st Manhattan is the same as 184970, which is the same as 915 Broadway, Manhattan. And our AI organizes and tags properties with this unique ID, allowing you as an end user to see all of the right information in seconds. So through this method, we cover 50 million properties. We define commercial as anything that's not a single family home. So duplex, vacant land, anyone that works in the multifamily space, this is a gold mine for you for that reason. And then on top of that, we have millions of sales records, companies and LLCs behind those sales records, people behind those sales and companies, and then tenants as well. I'm about to walk through a demo of Reonomy for you guys, but before I did that, I wanted to give a high-level overview of the use case specific to a broker and what that workflow looks like. So the first step in this is I want to find assets that are relevant to me. I want to find assets that are in California, that are industrial, that are likely to sell because of these different debt filters or debt signs. I want to really get down and discover target assets that are relevant for me. The next piece is I want to perform due diligence on those assets. I want to research them. And finally, kind of the secret sauce coming to life, I want to pierce the LLC and I want that accurate ownership information and the contacts there. As trivial as it may sound, I have friends that are brokers and I've been in this space for a while, and having accurate contact information can kind of be the key to success, you know? That's a big piece of being able to achieve efficiency in this field, is having the tools in front of you that give you accurate information that let you operate in your workflow at a pace that's right for you and generating the deals that you need. So on that note, I'm going to dive into a quick demo of Reonomy. I'm going to change my screen here, and hopefully you should now all see a URL, a map, and some labels over here. Julia, give me a holler if you don't see that.
We do see it.
Great. And David, feel free to chime in at any point, of course.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so up here in the top right, you see 52 million. This is the amount of coverage that Reonomy has, because it's every property right now. As I also quick lay of the land, here is a direct integration with Google Maps. Here is both your property cards, your saved searches, and some other functionality. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend to be a broker with a very specific niche, and I'm going to go through a very quick Reonomy search, or maybe a couple, just in the way as a broker would. And I'm going to show you how you all can do something similar to find new listings and essentially leverage data to create new deals. Okay. for this example, let's pretend I am an industrial focused broker. I've got my SIOR membership. I'm in California. I do deals all over the country. I'm California based, and I'm looking to find new opportunities, and I'm looking to help my team find and prospect deals. So going back to my cadence that I described in a slide earlier, let's first think about discover. Let's find target assets for this industrial Cali broker that are likely to sell. Let's dive in. California. Pay attention to this up here. So we just went from 52.4 million to 3, which makes sense because we're only focusing on one state. You can get really granular with asset type, which for brokers is a huge plus. I know that a lot of brokers will be heavily specialized. I have a friend who only does golf courses. He actually uses Reonomy because he can search just by golf courses, and you can get really powerful data for that reason. For this example, just focus on industrial. So there's 134,000 industrial assets in California. Moving on. There's a lot of building and lot stuff here. Some brokers don't like to mess with old buildings. Others only do things that are of a certain lot size. A lot of multifamily brokers specialize in 2 to 4 units. For this example, I want to get a little fun and say, only show me industrial assets in California that are in an opportunity zone. Down to 27,000. We'll move on. Sales. This is the first indicator to me that something is likely to sell. Based on Reonomy data and also just gut knowledge in the field, most industrial buildings aren't going to transact twice in a 10-year period. If you're going to invest in an industrial property, you're probably going to hold on to that for at least 10 years. So I don't want to see any properties that were transacted in the past 10 years. This number will continue to decrease right here. Now at 13,000. The next thing is debt. What debt indicators may show that a property is likely to sell on top of this sales filter? Maybe it's pre-foreclosed or up for auction, or maybe it has a huge loan that's about to come to term in the next year. Maybe they have a big balloon payment at the end of that term that's about to be a nasty one. So let's say there's a maturity date upcoming in the next 2 years. Before I hit apply, actually we can hit it. Before I dive in, taking a deep breath, we just took the complete supply of commercial real estate in the US, 52.4 million properties. We found only the properties that are in California that are industrial in an opportunity zone that haven't sold in the past 10 years with a maturity date in the next 2. And then we hit apply. So taking a quick breather, that's the discover portion. We just discovered target assets that you never would have with ease. Very quickly. So let's dive into the next piece. Research. Here's all these great properties that are all relevant for me. You can click into them individually, but for this example, let's just click into this one here. Looks like we're looking at a property in LA County. Some building and lot stuff. It's a light industrial, pretty solid square footage, 20,000. I guess on the smaller side probably. You can see the tenants within here. Also, if some of you specialize a bit in tenant rep or landlord rep, you can get the contact information for those tenants as well. Typically, it's like the president or the managing member. You can see the sales history on the property. This one is interesting. So it looks like it first transacted in 88 for 715K. Changed hands a bunch between Susan Klein and the Klein Trust, which I imagine was just legal, and then sold again to Orient Ave LLC for almost double the price. It's a pretty good investment. You can see the debt on the property, as we noted in our search. This 2011 loan is about to come to term, and it's a big one. So when you reach out to this owner, you know so much about their debt, the sales history, the tax history, the tenants within the building. Super powerful stuff. You can also take some notes. Great property. It's a bad note, but you get the point. Before I dive into the ownership, I want to do a couple other pieces of research and due diligence. The first would be, I want to show you guys a little bit about running comps and how powerful that can be on Reonomy. So when you click comps on Reonomy, we put in an algorithm into the search term or into the search bar that will actually generate comps for you. You can export these. You can view them in a table setting. You can get really crafty with the data. My main use case for this for a broker on the comp side, and you guys I'm sure know, is, hey, I just ran 200 comps for your property, and guess what? I know you purchased this for 1.3 million in 2011 or 2013. Forgot exactly when that year of purchase was. But all of these comps are selling at $7 million. We can get you at least halfway there, and you can triple your investment in a short time period. So it's pretty powerful. Another powerful trick here. Typically, owners like to hide behind LLCs. Brokers know this, and they're frustrated by it. But although they may have several LLC names, typically they're rooted back to the same mailing address. So see this unique mailing address here? I'm going to pop this open and essentially say, what's in this owner's portfolio? Show me what else is registered to that address. And in a quick search, we have 23 results. All of them, or most of them, are in LA or the surrounding areas. A lot of them seem to have similar ownership names, Adley Abdel Malik, or their trust, or LLC, Malik Enterprises. So we basically just pierce this guy's whole portfolio, and when we call him or her, we now have a pretty informed pitch. We have their comps, we have their portfolio, we have the sales and debt on the property, we have the taxes, we're ready to go. The last piece is, let's get their contact information. And here we have Adley, 3 phone numbers associated with him or her, and 2 phone numbers. It also shows that they are not just the owner principal of the LLC, but they're also the mortgage signatory. They're really the true owner of this property. Taking a deep breath there. David, anything to add or chime in with?
I'm just really impressed. This is incredible.
We think so too.
This is Matthew. In respect to your comps that you did for industrial, you have properties in Van Nuys compared to a property in Beverly Hills.
Sorry, could you say that one more time?
So when I've been looking at the comps that you did initially on the industrial, you said you've got 250 comps. You had Van Nuys property in Orion compared to 9350 Santa Monica Boulevard, Beverly Hills. So the comps themselves wouldn't be of value. How do you make sure? So you see here 9312 Santa Monica, 9330 Santa Monica, and this was for Orion.
Yes, this.
Right. So these would not be a fair comp.
For sure. Makes sense because it's not the same location, you're saying.
Completely. So
yeah.
Completely. So if you're gonna, that's one of the big problems with CoStar when they're doing their comps, they're pulling things to they're not thinking it could be a radius, but the radius isn't. So how do you drill down and create your criteria for that?
For sure. That's a good question. I would say essentially 2 things. What we do in this comp generator, so to speak, is we put in a bunch of different filters that we think would be a comp. If you sniff this list and you see something that doesn't fit your criteria as a broker, you can feel free to remove it and not include it. And you can always adjust these as well to get more strict or less strict based on the exact criteria. This is just essentially just like a general comps button, and then you can iterate it.
How do you?
So Cam, just a question. So how granular can we get? So we can do a radius, we can do a so
sure.
Make it easy to create our own filters.
You can get extremely specific. To quickly just show you an example of this, I'm just going to go back to the general map here. Brokers love to draw on this map. So do other types of service providers, for lack of a better word. So what we're essentially doing is popping a radius around this and saying, show me comps in this area. You can adjust that radius right here You could also draw your own polygon and do like, I want to do this sliver of LA. So you can get really fun with the map.
Thank you.
Cool. I have one more example that I can run through quick here, and then maybe we can dive into a discussion and questions after that. And again, just as a quick, like taking a step back, our machine learning and enterprise and data engineering team is pulling all of this data automatically. None of this is self-reported. We have no call researchers that are harassing brokers and owners and reps for any information, zero. So it's pulled in a different way. It's pulled at scale. But part of the reason and the benefit of that is our secondary, tertiary, and primary market coverage is all aligned. Because we are focused throughout the country in the same way, it's very strong throughout. And it's not only strong in New York, but not strong in Boise. All right, we're gonna do one more quick example here. Let's focus on an MSA this time. Miami-Dade, flights down there, like $50 right now if anyone wants to take their take their chance. We're gonna dive into the asset type. Let's focus on multifamily here. Again, anything besides single family home, we're gonna cover. Building and lot. I don't want to mess with any old buildings. Let's say 1975 and later. So we're already down to 14,000 results. I'm gonna do the same sales filter, no sales in the past 10 years. On the debt side, let's do pre-foreclosure this time. Boom. Very quickly, here's all of our properties, 26 results, super easy. Out of the 52.4 million. So again, just reiterating that scale, click into 324 Hayes, check out the sales, transacted for 140K in 91, and then a change of hands in 2009. Looks like there was a loan that has an expiration in 2046, maturity date, but it's obviously in this pittance because it's foreclosed. And then last but not least, Ellen Crandall is the partner and the mortgage signatory. She's also the owner and the principal of the LLC. Here's her contact information. This aligns, it's the same person. And then you reach out. You can also export this information depending on your package. You can plug it into your CRM. We have a Salesforce integration that should be released in the next quarter, so you can actually push this directly into your CRM and a lot of other really great data partnerships and integrations to come. So on that note, I know there were some questions coming in, and I don't know if you wanted to add anything on a discussion level here, David, but would love to hand it back to you.
I mean, this is really impressive. So how often does the Reonomy data get updated?
Yeah, it gets updated weekly. Part of the data we pull from the public source itself. So whenever that public source is updated, we're updated, and that can vary in frequency. Similar with our data, private data providers with whom we've secured exclusivity, meaning they can only give their data to us, which is really important as we grow our business. Examples of these would be CoreLogic, Black Knight, Dun & Bradstreet. In a similar way, whenever they update, we update. So I think the right answer there is weekly or bi-weekly, depending on the source.
And when people are buying subscriptions to Reonomy, is it they're buying the national database? Are they buying it by state? How does that work?
Good question. So unlike some of our competitors, we give the whole country, we give access to the national always. We don't charge by market. So when you have Reonomy access, you have it nationally.
That's terrific. And is it, say I'm a office with 100 people, am I buying licenses for all 100 people, or am I buying it just for the office?
That is a good question. So we have a few different packages. We have packages that are individual licenses for a broker who is working by themselves, or a broker that pays out of pocket for all of their own tools. I know some of the bigger brokerages and franchises will give you some discount on some tools, but mostly make you pay out of pocket. Other companies or brokerages will actually go for our teams option, where you have an admin and then you have as many seats as you want, and those seats can share credits and they can share information and they can tag each other. You're like, hey, David, check out this great property. Could you please give it a call? So totally is up to how you would like to use it.
Fantastic. Do you have any brokerage success stories that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, I'd like to share two. The first would be on the enterprise side. So part of what we want to do, without being cliche, is work with the industry to actually create products that are fairly priced and valuable, which is an anomaly, as it seems. The first is how we work with the enterprise to develop products specific to them that help them both at the corporate level and at the ground level. An example with this would be like a CBRE, where they use us in two different ways. They have hundreds of their brokers on the front end of Reonomy, just as I showed you. So they're using Reonomy to prospect, find new deals, run comps, do reports, find the tax on a random property that they just need for some type of report, etc. What we also do for them is we send data through an API directly into their internal system. So we are working with them to create both individual level and enterprise/corporate level solutions using the same data and just surfacing it in different ways. So that's our really smart team, not me, but our engineers and our data scientists and our product folks getting creative and serving the client in the right way. The second success story I would give is one of my buddies actually just joined Reonomy. He works for a brokerage here in New York. His brokerage is like multifamily, pretty high velocity. He does a lot of prospecting. He has a small team. So we gave him 2 licenses. And within, I think, the first 4 months, the license paid for itself 100 times over because they brought in a huge deal right away and we're able to source that pretty easily. So I think the immediate success from that end on the lower level brokerage and smaller side compared to the behemoth, the fact that we can serve throughout the gamut, it makes us feel good. And I think those are 2 success stories right there.
That's excellent. And is Reonomy an independent company, or is it part of a larger company at this point?
We are an independent company, absolutely. Our executive team is really passionate about the ownership and their ability to create something. Rich particularly has built this company from the ground up. We have a lot of great venture capital investors who give us awesome guidance, but we are certainly our own entity and functioning as that.
The list of your investors is impressive, and I can tell you that they don't just give money to anybody, so they really must like what you're doing.
So they like something. We're not sure what. Just joking. We appreciate their guidance and we meet with them regularly, and they're very much in touch with us as we help build this company.
And have you gotten the dreaded cease and desist letter from CoStar
yet? We have not, and that's all I'll say on the matter, as we know that they can be a litigious group. So we have not.
So, Ben?
Yes.
Yes, I have a question. What about non-disclosure states? Could you address that?
It's a great question. We have a lot of, actually, the majority of our brokers are in California, Texas, and New York. So the middle there, we get a lot of questions about. So we use different algorithms to surface data in non-disclosure states with high levels of certainty. So based on different tax information, debt information, other sales information, and other pieces of data that we get from our private sources, we are able to surface data for non-disclosure states with a high level of certainty. And if we don't believe that that level of certainty is high enough, we will not surface that data.
Just for those of us who do not know what a non-disclosure state is, could either of you enlighten us?
Sure. So some states have really great public data, like New York, for example. Other states have different rules, and they say you don't need to disclose the price on this sales transaction, for example. So in those states, we have to input different algorithms that help us derive a data point that we're really confident in. And to answer this gentleman's question, we will not show that data point if we are not confident in it from a non-disclosure perspective.
Okay.
Two questions. One is, can we search for out-of-state ownership property specifically? So we want to know who owns property in Los Angeles that happens to live in Idaho.
Yep.
Second question is, do a lot of work looking for all the Dollar Tree stores, so searching by tenants.
Could you repeat the second one?
Second one is searching by tenants.
Yes.
So we may have someone who wants to buy Dollar Trees in Texas or wherever it is, but they want to know who owns in California, but they're more likely to sell if it's out of state ownership.
Oh yeah, you're on your game. Whoever was just speaking there, because that's actually those are two searches that we get a lot. The first for out of state ownership, absolutely more likely to sell from a person who lives in Idaho who owns property in California, for sure more likely to sell, and we see that as well. So you can just say, I only show me properties with in-state owners or out-of-state owners. So you can see how that changes the totals here. The second piece, of course. What's that?
You have an owner user button as well?
Say that one more time.
Well, you've got owner occupied. See that right?
Yep, owner occupied, owner. And then to answer your other question, we have a lot of triple net folks or business brokers that will use us for the use case you just described. So like a CVS as an example, or a Dollar Tree, you can do it really easily. So there's a lot of CVSs. You have to use other filters.
And not a single one of them has Purell.
Yeah, and they're also a lot of their masks.
Yes.
Any other thoughts or questions here?
So if somebody watching today wanted to sign up for Reonomy, what do they need to do?
Good question, David. I'm happy to tell you. Head to reonomy.com/quantum listing. By doing this, you will be on a page that helps you sign up for a free trial. I encourage you to poke around our platform, get a feel for it, see if it's a good fit for you. One of our team members will be in touch, and they'll be able to walk you through a customized demo, just as I just did, at a general level, very specific to your use case. Hey, I'm trying to find triple net lease opportunities, specifically Dollar General in California, that are pre-foreclosed. They can help you whip that up. And then, if it's a right fit, they can actually talk about the different plans that would be good for you and your team. I will say that we're a really affordable solution, especially compared to some other players in the space. But yeah, head to reonomy.com/quantum listing to try it for free. And if you have any questions or just want to reach out to me to say hello, my email is right here, and David's is here as well.
Really, can you give us an idea? Obviously, everybody's going to be a little bit different, but say you're a solo practitioner. What would it be? An annual subscription, a monthly subscription? How does that work?
Yep. So it's an annual subscription, meaning you commit annually. You can pay monthly or annually, but it's an annual commitment either way. The price is a little more advantageous if you commit for the whole year, of course, or sorry, if you pay for the whole year up front. And that price on our lowest tier is $300 a month. And that's for complete access to the whole country of the assets and 250 owner credits per month, essentially.
And an owner credit is what specifically?
Yep, that is the ability to unlock one owner. So just as I unlocked 2 owners in that demo I just gave.
Right, so if your goal is to cold call, 10 or 15 people a day, it sounds like, yeah, that is perfect.
And apologies, I misspoke. It's 100 owner credits a month. That said, we have tiers where you can unlock more credits. So some of our high volume brokers that are trying to spray and pray, so to speak, will be on our highest tier, and they'll be using our full functionality, and they'll typically have their team on it as well. And some of the other ones who just need to do a little more bespoke prospecting here and there and want to get some more information will be on our lower tier, and we can totally find a place where you fit and make sure that it's right for you.
And
You're involved with Digsy, which also has quantum listing.
Say that one more time.
Digsy AI, which also I think is quantum listing for their listing portal.
I'm familiar with Digsy, but I have not done any.
Okay.
Digsy is a fantastic service. I use their CRM for my brokerage, my properties, and I don't see any
Good job.
conflict with Reonomy and this. I mean, they're
It's not a conflict, but their listing portal I thought was called Quantum.
they do use us to serve listings to their site. That's why you see our name there.
Yes. Okay. That's why I was asking.
Any other questions? Real estate brokers who are generally like aggressive and loud, when it comes to being on a webinar, all of a sudden they get very quiet. I don't understand that phenomenon. Do you see that in your other presentations, Ben?
It's a cost.
I have questions. Sorry.
Sure.
How do you compare to prospect now? Because I mean, your data. Because I'm looking at it at $3 a hit for the first 300 is not cheap. If we're trying to chase a broad swath of product.
This is true.
For sure. I hear you. I think the biggest differentiations around the breadth of coverage and the accuracy of that coverage. So I think that you will very quickly find that we cover way more, and the accuracy of that is much better, quite simply put.
And if you get involved with any construction projects of that nature, like the Dodge report, things of that nature, so you can figure out any thoughts on timing of that.
On construction projects, sorry, I think you were tough to hear.
So, in other words, so there's programs like Dodge reports, which is the classic, where there's a property in which they construct something's being built, and you can search by. I want to know any Walgreens that are being by tenants, or it's whenever something goes to bid, and that's the it's just another source of what's happening on the specific property.
Got it. So we don't have data on what's currently being built or erected. I can talk to our product team about that, because I know that's something they've discussed before, is like live development sites, etc. I will say that, interestingly enough, this platform was built for CRE professionals, but it's now used by some of the biggest construction providers, roofing providers, solar providers, HVAC, anything that has to do with finding properties that are right for you and getting in touch with the right folks. This is really relevant. So those industries have jumped on this bandwagon, so to speak, and have found a lot of value from the product in a similar but not totally aligned way.
You guys have done a good job. You're very user friendly.
Cool. We appreciate the feedback. And again, I really encourage you, go to reonomy.com/quantum listing, try it for free, give it a spin, talk to someone on our team and see if it's right. Give it a shot. Can't hurt. And if it's not, no harm, no foul. See you at ICSC. If it happens.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yep. You're having virtual drunks.
Yeah, I have a couple team members on the call that I think will probably agree with me in that we're pretty disappointed about all the events being canceled, and it is a bummer, because that's a lot of how brokers function, is in-person relationships that are created through things like that. So it's too bad.
Yeah. On a selfish level, after coming into ICS in 2018, I'd be okay with this.
Yeah, me too. I was looking forward to it. But hey, what are you gonna do?
All good. It could happen. I hope it happens. That means things are better.
Yes, exactly.
David, thank you for your time.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us today, and thank you, Ben, for making this incredible presentation. I also want to thank Julia for helping tie this all, put this together for us. And the also want to thank Sierra, I see, who popped in. Hopefully she's got from the news funnel. And before we go, I just want to share with you some of our upcoming webinars. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Right. All right. Well, rather than waste time figuring out how to show you my screen, let me just tell you about them. March 18th, the House of Marketing with Becca Carlson from Carlson Integrated. Becca is both a commercial real estate broker and a marketing expert, and we've had her on our webinar before. She does incredible homework and preparation for her webinars, and I'm sure it will be wonderful. March 25th, we have a webinar with Pradeep Reddy from Landchecks. Landchecks is a new partner of ours, and if you, they actually just went live on our site today, and if you click on any listing card and go to the detail page, you'll see a button to go to Landchecks, and you'll be able to find out about all the things that might influence your purchase of the property or development of the property. Everything from nearby cell towers, brownfields, and there's probably about 15 or 20 different data sets that they incorporate in a very user-friendly, easy to decipher manner. April 1st, we're going to have a real fun free-for-all with all of our various partners. That's no joke. And on April 8th, Kent Fitzpatrick will be back for his hat trick appearance on tax strategies for real estate professionals. April 15th, everybody will be filing their taxes, so we don't have anything scheduled yet, but probably do something about quantum listing. April 22nd, we've got Brian Hennessy of Avison Young, who's an expert on due diligence. So maybe Ben will come back and show him how it's really done. How to instantly generate leads with our good friend Andrew Bermudez of the aforementioned Digsy on April 29th. And June 24th, we've got Linda Day Harrison from, I'm sorry, excuse me, I misspoke. June 24th, we have Eva Basca and probably Sunny Delzani from Build Out with us to talk about their incredible marketing platform. So a lot of great stuff coming up. Thank you again, everybody, for your time, and we hope to see you in the future on another webinar. Have a great rest of your day. Stay healthy, stay safe, and wait, there's some questions. Hold on, wait. Boy, I gotta look at where the chat doesn't seem to be coming up for me. All right, let's try it again. There we go. All right, I think we got it all. All right. And to Stovey Moore, it is recorded, and we will send it around to everybody. Thanks again, everybody, and hope to see you real soon. Ben, great job. Bye-bye.